Strugglers, it feels like it's been forever. I'm so happy to be back. How are you? Do you remember way back in 2022 when I made that video all about the SNL spin-off movies? In that video, I talked about only movies that were based on previous Saturday Night Live sketches. And in the comments, there were a lot of people asking why I didn't include some movies that they mistakenly thought were based on SNL sketches. Specifically, the movie Hot Rod came up so many times. And it's not surprising that it did because it starred a lot of SNL cast members and writers. It was produced by Lorne Michaels, the guy who created SNL. But no, it was an original screenplay, not based on a sketch. So Hot Rod did not fit the criteria for that video. But it certainly does today. It is no secret at all at this point that a giant portion of my sense of humor was formed by Andy Samberg, The Lonely Island, Andy Samberg, The Lonely Island, Andy Samberg. I tried for years to be Andy Samberg. In my most formative years, these guys were some of my biggest inspirations. Andy Samberg, Jorma Taccone, and Akiva Schaffer. The Lonely Island. I spent countless hours scrubbing through their YouTube channel as a kid. It felt like I was seeing behind the scenes things that I wasn't supposed to be seeing. I felt like I was in on some kind of weird something, I don't know. I watched Awesome Town, their pilot that they made. It was going to be like their own little sketch comedy type of show. Every digital short that they made for SNL, and now as an adult, I'm listening to their podcast about the digital shorts that they made. Speaking of podcasts, you should check out my new podcast with my siblings. It's called I'll Remember This. I'll link it in the description. In one of the episodes of the Lonely Island podcast, they mentioned that their own kind of unofficial criteria for something counting as a Lonely Island project was that 2 of the 3 members had to have worked on it. And if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. That is the criteria I'm using today as well. I'm gonna watch and talk about every Lonely Island movie, whether they directed it, starred in it, wrote it, produced it. As long as 2 of the 3 of them were involved, it counts. So if Andy just acted in a movie and the other guys weren't there, doesn't count. And unfortunately, that also means that MacGruber does not count. The only member that was involved in that was Jorma. He directed the movie. But if you're interested in hearing more about MacGruber, you can watch my 2022 video because it's in that one. Okay, moving forward, that leaves us with 10 movies in total today. And what better place to start than with the aforementioned cult classic, Hot Rod. Hot Rod is a movie about this guy, Rod, who is an amateur and self-proclaimed stuntman. All he wants in life is for his stepdad to respect him. And in order for that to happen, he has to beat him up in a fight. Okay? But his stepdad falls ill and he needs a $50,000 surgery. So in order for Rod to be able to beat up his stepdad and earn his respect, he has to raise $50,000 for this surgery. So to do that, he's going to put on a big stunt and the whole town is going to be there. That's the premise of the movie. It's slapstick, it's silly, it's funny, it's amazing, it's heartwarming, it's everything you could ask for in a movie. I saw it for the first time when I think I was 13 or 14, and I immediately fell in love with it. And then as I was rewatching it a few days ago for this video, I was crying, laughing in the basement by myself.
Rod's crew is running to his side. I, for one, hope none of them had a fight with Rod this morning because he is more than likely dead.
I've learned over the years that the Lonely Island are the kings of making stuff that's pretty good when you watch it by yourself, but then when you get together with your friends and talk about it and quote it to each other, it is a million times better. This is one of the most fun movies to quote. Ask anybody that's seen it and they'll start shooting quotes at you left and right.
God, I go to church every goddamn Sunday. You gonna bring the demons out of me?
There you go, you got him.
So this was a movie that the Lonely Island was fully involved in. They starred in it, Akiva directed it, and the 3 of them together did a full rewrite of the movie to make it their own. It was originally written by a woman named Pam Brady, and the story was supposed to be for Will Ferrell years before, but the film never came to be, and then Lorne met the Lonely Island when they started working for SNL, and he was like, they're the ones to make this movie happen. Apparently Paramount, the company that was like behind the production of the movie, throughout the process were kind of pushing back on Andy, Jorma, and Akiva, like with their rewrites. They weren't really on board with it. But Lorne, the king, the legend, Lorne Michaels was in there like, no, let them do what they want to do. Let them make their movie. Let them make their movie. Let the Lonely Island do what the Lonely Island does. This is going to be a cult classic someday. People might not get it now, but they will eventually. That's Lorne. The movie starts off with Rod doing a stunt where he's jumping over this truck and he totally whiffs it. And apparently, according to them, that was totally real. It kind of looks CG. Something about the way that the body moves and collapses into the thing. That actually happened. It's fully real. And the poor stuntman that had to do that broke his femur doing it. But they told the story on their podcast about how while they were loading him into the ambulance to bring him to the hospital, the stuntman was like, please just tell me that it looks funny. And it does. It looks great. And it made the movie. So shout out to that stunt guy. The movie was not received well at all. Like, it was a box office bomb. Critics ripped it apart, but critics are also miserable subhuman slugs, so who cares? When you watch the movie, it feels like there's kind of a homemade vibe to it, and that was always the intention. Akiva directed it, and he wanted it to feel a little bit run and gun, a little bit lower budget, but Paramount wanted to pump a ton of money into it because they wanted this big blockbuster comedy. So they made the movie feel small, even though it had a really big budget, and then it was like a devastating blow when it didn't make back the budget at the box office. But that's just one of those things, sometimes you gotta take the L and make a cult classic. I've done that. I've run into situations where I make a video and I'm like, this one's not for the algorithm or whatever. This one's for the people who are gonna get randomly recommended it 3 years from now. And there's something to be learned from people that are willing to do that, like The Lonely Island in this case. So yeah, Hot Rod is easily one of my favorite comedy movies of all time. Like I said, I cried laughing like 4 times watching it by myself the other day. And I was nervous that it wasn't gonna hit the same as it did when I first saw it, like, I don't know what, 15 years ago at this point. But no, it's still an absolute steam engine of a movie, and I highly recommend it if you have not seen it somehow. Very easy to fall in love with, quintessential Lonely Island, the top of the top, the best of the best. All right, so that's one down. I've got 9 more to talk about. So let's snuggle up and get cozy. Maybe you snuggle up on a nice mattress, perhaps? A Helix mattress is what I was getting at. Thank you so much to Helix for sponsoring this video. Helix makes premium mattresses and bedding that are customized to fit your needs and sent straight to your door for free if you live in the US. A mattress that I purchased online, how do I know which one to get? You just take their short Helix sleep quiz and they'll use those answers to match you with your perfect mattress. For example, Jaden and myself got matched with the Midnight Lux because we sleep on our sides and prefer a medium firmness to our mattress. But if you have different preferences, you'll get matched with a different mattress. That's how it works. Pretty simple. We've had our Helix for years now. It's our favorite mattress that we've ever owned. We never wake up feeling sore. We fall asleep so quickly. If you're nervous about purchasing a mattress you've never slept on, I totally get that. That's why Helix offers a 100-night sleep trial as well as a 10-year warranty. So you really don't have much to worry about there. Try it out, see if you like it. You probably will because they matched you to it. Because of your preferences. You get how this goes, right? We've done this a few times now. They also offer flexible payment plans and financing options just to make sure that getting a brand new, amazing mattress is as accessible as possible for you. So if you're interested in getting some great sleep, which I hope you are, you can head to helixsleep.com/Scott Cramer and you'll get 20% off site-wide during their summer sale. Happy summer! Helix is 20% off. Thank you so much to Helix for sponsoring this video. Thank you to you guys as always for using my links when I have them, especially the Helix ones. Good grief. Y'all are buying mattresses like crazy. I appreciate you. Now let's get back in there and see what the heck Andy, Yorma, and Akiva are up to, huh? The next movie I want to talk about is Popstar. I've mentioned this before, but when I plan out what videos I'm going to be making, I plan them out basically a full year in advance. This video was going to be a couple of months from now, but then I was listening to the Lonely Island podcast and they mentioned that Popstar was going to be on Netflix now for the first time ever, and I have never seen Popstar. It's a movie from 2016 and I just somehow missed it. But then I ran to watch it after hearing that on their podcast and I knew I have to make this video immediately. Popstar is a mockumentary about this pop star, Connor For Real, and he used to be in this trio rap group with his best friends. They had a little bit of a falling out and Connor went solo, and it's a documentary following the release of his newest album. There are an insane amount of A-list celebrity cameos in the movie playing themselves, and the whole movie in a weird way kind of feels like a dark alternate reality version of The Lonely Island themselves, because in the movie, Andy as Connor is the one that gets all the attention. Everybody kind of gives him credit for the success of the group. Akiva's character does a lot of the behind the scenes heavy lifting, creative writing that he doesn't get credit for publicly. And then Yorma's character in the movie is the one that kind of drives forward the musical aspect of their group. And all of that is kind of how The Lonely Island in real life has been perceived in terms of like the digital shorts and music. They all three are equally involved in it, but Andy has been the face of it. You know, he's like the leader of the group. So I could see a dark timeline where the fallout happens in the group and Andy breaks off and starts doing his own thing and the other guys are resentful of it. Thank God that didn't happen because we're still getting amazing Lonely Island stuff to this day.
It's like a tricycle. You take away one of the wheels, what do you got? Nothing. A bicycle. Don't use that.
There's also another parallel to their real life in the sense that Connor's newest album coming out does not perform nearly as well as it's expected to. The label put a ton of money into it. He was kind of going off doing his own thing, making it weird and unique and experimental. And that is what happened when they made Hot Rod. And then on another weird meta level, this movie also did not perform well. And this is a quote from their Wikipedia page. It says, the film was released on June 3rd, 2016 by Universal Pictures and became a box office bomb, grossing just over $9 million against a budget of $20 million. It received positive reviews from critics and has since developed a cult following. Man, the layers to this Lonely Island stuff. How many times are people gonna give them too much money to make what they need to make? So in terms of the movie itself, I'm coming in 9 years late to this thing. And a lot has happened in pop culture since then, so it's hard for me to see this movie for what it was at the time. I'm kind of only able to look at it for what it is now. So to me, the premise of the movie doesn't feel nearly as fresh as it should have when it came out. I'm sure it was a fresh idea when it came out, but I didn't get to experience it. I missed the boat on it. That's my bad. I think we've had a lot more conversations about like the troubled pop star since 2016. So it's just, I don't know, different to watch it now than maybe it would have been watching it 9 years ago, but it's still a very fun, very good movie.
They gave it a negative review. Oh, here we go. Conquest, a triumph. This is on The Onion. So, mixed. Let's call it mixed reviews.
And I think the cameos, usually cameos are hit or miss for me, and this one I think hit. Most of the cameos were just, talking head interviews, and everybody did such a good job. They were so believable in it.
I'm so humble. I instantly connected with that because I'm probably the most humble person that I know.
Ultimately, it's a very fun mockumentary with silly characters and a very wholesome message to it. So once again, I would recommend this movie in case you were looking for my recommendation. You have my permission to watch it? Go for it, guys.
You were up there for like 10 seconds.
10 seconds is an eternity, Harry. It's a third of the way to Mars.
The next movie that the Lonely Island were fully involved in making is a Netflix special, and it was called, let me look up the name so I get it exactly right, Michael Bolton's Big Sexy Valentine's Day Special. And it was big and it was sexy. The premise is that Michael Bolton bumps into Santa Claus, and Santa tells him that he accidentally overproduced presents for this upcoming Christmas. So Michael Bolton needs to do some kind of big sexy thing to make people procreate at an alarming rate, frankly, and we need 75,000 extra babies by Christmas. So this is a Valentine's special so that by the time Christmas rolls around, there's enough babies for the extra presents. Very Lonely Island premise. And this whole thing feels less like a movie and more like a series of sketches that are all stitched together. The whole thing is set up in the format of a telethon. So each person that's featured in it gets their own little segment in the telethon, and I think it works pretty well. The bit with Will Forte was, what I would consider flawless.
I'm no race car driver, but I'm pretty good when I'm driving my Scion.
Off you go.
Wait, can I borrow some money for a cab? I wrecked my Scion. Yeah, drunk driving.
And there's a section with Tim Robinson that is very Tim Robinson. So if you like either of those guys and their humor, I'd say at least watch their segment of the special. Some of the things hit for me, some of the things didn't hit for me, but that's like SNL, same type of thing. Some of the sketches are great, some of them I could do without. If I could give a very minor criticism of people that come from SNL, a lot of the issues that I have, and maybe this is just an issue with me, I have a really hard time seeing past the person and seeing them as a character. And this really specifically only happens with SNL people for me. Like every time I see Maya Rudolph, I am only seeing Maya Rudolph. I'm not seeing whoever she is supposed to be. I'm just seeing Maya Rudolph playing Maya Rudolph. And the same thing for like Chris Parnell. Every time I see Chris Parnell, I'm just watching Chris Parnell be Chris Parnell. But if you like all of these people that are featured in it, you're gonna love this special. You will, because they're all being them, just like to the nth degree. I'm just now realizing in real time that the setup for this special is around a telethon happening, and at the end of Hot Rod, there's also a whole telethon thing to raise money. They're weaving like nobody else weaves. Everything is interconnected in a weird, maybe not really way, but in a little bit of a way sometimes, maybe, huh? So yeah, this feels very Lonely Island. They wrote, directed, starred in it. I don't think it's as good as Popstar or Hot Rod. Hot Rod is all the way up here. Popstar is maybe a tier down. And the Michael Bolton special is its own separate thing. I don't even know where to place it. But if you like the Lonely Island and you like their humor, I'm sure that there's stuff in here that you will also enjoy.
Adam Scott, my best friend.
Hey, I've got 2 words for you, bro. Las Vegas. Strippers, shots, Bubba Gump Shrimp Company.
Okay, so the final movie that I would consider fully a Lonely Island project is called The Unauthorized Bash Brothers Experience. I'm going to try to explain what it is. So the Bash Brothers are Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire. They played for the Oakland A's, and they were just like juiced to the gills, cranking home runs left and right. World famous baseball players, okay? And these guys are from that area. This is where they grew up, so I'm sure they're intimately close with the story of the Bash Brothers. But I don't think I know why they made this. The whole thing, it's a visual rap album. So it's only about 30 minutes long, and I can't put my finger on if they admire the Bash Brothers or if they really hate them. Most of the songs are about Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire like hooking up with random women, and it's so bizarre. I do not understand it. I can imagine somebody turning this on, not knowing what it is, and maybe you're a baseball fan, and you're like, oh, I'll check out this Bash Brothers movie. And then you're just so unbelievably confused by what you're looking at that you just turn it off within the first 5 minutes. And somehow, I think that they would be honored if you did that. Something tells me that they either want people to be all in and think this is either the funniest or most incredibly artistic thing I've ever seen, or they want them to be like, what is this? What am I watching? I hate it. I think they'd be equally proud with either reaction from anybody. This is another one that they wrote and directed and starred in. A little disjointed, but also beautifully artistic and poetic. I have a feeling this is one that I have to sit with for longer. I have to watch it maybe another time. The visuals are incredible. I'll give them that. This is stunning to look at, even though it's just mostly green screen and like weird computer graphics. And some of the songs are catchy as heck. Am I slowly coming around to it as I'm talking about it? With the stuff that they tend to make, I think I could categorize it as like I'm 75% all in on what they do. 75% of the digital shorts, 75% of the songs, 75% of the movies. I'm completely invested. I get it. I'm with you. And then 20%, I'm a little bit maybe confused by, not exactly sure what's going on, but I can see the vision. The final 5%, I am completely and absolutely lost. This Bash Brothers experience, I think, falls into that last 5%. I didn't quite get it. I wish I did. And maybe that's what makes it a perfect piece of art. I don't know how to feel about it. Maybe I'll hop into a discussion board and I think I could be on board, but I need more time. Okay, I have a very important update. I just rewatched The Bash Brothers while I was getting B-roll. I think it's the best thing The Lonely Island has ever made. Unironically, I think it's the best thing they've done. I'm embarrassed at how much I didn't get it the first time. If you like The Lonely Island, watch The Bash Brothers experience. It's so... Just watch it. It's so good. Okay, so those 4 projects, like I said before, those are the ones that they were fully involved with, from acting, directing, writing, producing. Those were their movies. Nobody can take that away from them. Those movies belong to The Lonely Island. But at the beginning, I said there were 10 movies I want to talk about. So that means that there are 6 movies that they were partially involved with, and I want to talk about those as well. First one I want to bring up is The Watch. This is that movie that you watched at your buddy's house at a sleepover in 2012, and you forgot about it until now. The way that the guys were involved is that Akiva directed the movie, and all 3 of them made a short cameo as actors. And Dax Flame is in the movie for a few seconds. Anything Dax Flame is in, I'm fully on board with. This is a movie about a neighborhood watch being formed because there's been some crime in the area.
A man was killed yesterday. You can't kill someone and take their skin!
And they eventually discover that aliens are looking to take over Earth, and it's up to them to defeat them. Classic 2010s comedy, and it is a classic 2010s comedy. This movie is actually way better than it has any business being. I actually watched it at my friend Justin's house when I was in high school, and I loved it. I think that's actually the barometer for if a comedy is good or not. Did I uncontrollably laugh in Justin's basement? And for this one, I did. I really like this movie. It being a comedy that Akiva directed, it does feel like a Lonely Island project, even though they're not fully involved in it.
What's happening? Did we win? I can't see. Are those tears of joy? They're not tears of joy, are they? Oh no, your husband's dead, isn't he? Your husband's dead. I'm so sorry. You're gonna find somebody. You're gonna find somebody. You're a great person.
So if that's a movie that you forgot about until now, check it out again. It's pretty good. The visuals surprisingly hold up pretty well. It looks better than I thought it would. Another movie that they were partially involved with is Brigsby Bear. Andy has a role as an actor in it, and all 3 of them were producers on the movie. This is a very bizarre premise. I'm going to try to explain it as concise as I can. The main character was kidnapped as a kid, and his kidnappers are pretending to be his real parents, and they've convinced him that the outside world is like kind of apocalyptic, so they live in a bunker, and the dad creates this fake children's show just for the son. So the son grows up on this fake kids show, Brigsby Bear, and kind of like forms an obsession over it. And it's the kidnapped dad's way of like teaching him life lessons. It's hard to explain. But then the police come and they save him. They rescue him from his kidnappers and bring him back to his real family. And then in the real world, he's still got this kind of obsession with Brigsby Bear. So he shows people and they're like, this is actually low-key kind of a banger show. And they decide that they want to make a movie to like finish off the storyline that didn't get finished because he got rescued from the kidnappers. That's kind of the plot line. Very interesting, very bizarre. Kyle Mooney is so good in this movie. Holy crap, I was not familiar with your game, Kyle Mooney. The movie is so insanely sweet and heartwarming. It's a warm, wholesome vibe that I'm not really used to seeing in movies all that often. Because of the setup of the movie, I kept waiting for this dark turn to happen. There'd be a twist where like the friend group that he kind of found was being mean to him the whole time and they were pretending to be nice and pretending to like him. Or that something terrible would happen during the process of them making this Brigsby Bear movie, like the film would get lost or things would get broken, I don't know. But that dark, twisted turn never came. It was just a wonderful, sweet movie about this guy, you know, trying to reintegrate back into a normal society, and everybody around him is so nice and supportive. Nothing really bad ever happens. Nothing horrifying, traumatizing. There's no significant battles that anybody has to fight. It's just like the story of this guy wanting to make a movie with his family and friends and them going along with it. It was just super refreshing to see that portrayed in a movie because that's what life is usually like. Maybe I've just been so fortunate. I've been so fortunate in life to never be really surrounded by people that are cruel just to be cruel. And it was nice to see that demonstrated in a movie as well. Like, not everything has to have some dark twist. He even reconciles with the guy who kidnapped him and pretend to be his dad. He gets him involved with the movie. Like, everybody ends on such good terms. I recommend it. Now, does it feel like a Lonely Island movie? Not really. No. I just spent a lot of time talking about it. It doesn't really feel like a Lonely Island movie, but they were involved with it and I thought it was great. So yeah, I'd check it out if you never heard of it. I had never heard of it. Have you heard of this next movie? It's called Palm Springs. Andy is one of the co-leads of the movie, and then The Lonely Island produced it. And this one also doesn't super duper feel like a Lonely Island movie. It's got hints and sprinkles of it here and there, but I don't know. The movie follows the same formula that Groundhog Day has, where they're stuck in a time loop and every day repeats itself, but it still somehow manages to feel like its own completely unique movie. Andy is the one that's stuck in the time loop, and early on, he accidentally gets another person stuck in the time loop with him, the other star of the movie. That's what kickstarts the premise, and then we learn about how long Andy's been in the time loop and all the things that he's done while he's been in it, who he really is. How does this new woman that's now stuck in the loop, how does she reconcile with that? It makes you root for and against every character in the movie at one point. Everyone is a hero, everyone is a villain. It made me take a look in the mirror and think about like my relationship with time. How am I spending my time? I would say it is an underrated classic. Is that too much to say? I just said it, so too bad. I can't say the same about the next movie. I Used to Go Here. This is a movie about a woman who graduated from a writing school, and it's like 15 years in the future. She's written a book, but her career is not going in the direction that she wanted it to. She reconnects with her old professor, who turns out to be kind of a weirdo creep. Surprise, surprise. And she's just kind of, I don't know, finding the version of herself that she didn't find in college. It doesn't feel like a Lonely Island thing at all. Like zero. Yorma makes like the tiniest little cameo in the movie, and then, you know, their company produced it. But there's no chance that I would categorize this as a Lonely Island project. It's like they weren't even involved. This next one might be the most out of left field out of all of them. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. This is a movie about the iconic cartoon characters Chip and Dale, and it's about them kind of like reconnecting after their TV run in the 80s. They had a falling out and they're getting back together, and then they have to go on this mission.
What are we doing, Chip? The Disney marketing people asked us to do one of these videos.
Yeah, and that's what the whole movie kind of feels like. The Disney marketing execs wanted us to make this movie, so we did. What I will say about it is that it's very visually interesting. There are a ton of different animation styles all happening at the same time, mixed with live action. It's like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit, The Incredible Mr. Limpet, and stop motion 3D animation combo thing. It's wild to see. Akiva directed it, and goodness, I don't know, he should have won an Oscar for it. Is that crazy to say? Well, I said it, so too bad. How do you even direct a movie like this? How do you plan these shots? This whole thing is just wildly impressive. The movie itself, the script, and the storyline are whatever. I think a kid would watch it and be interested and invested in it. And I think the parent who's, you know, in the kitchen making lunch, listening to it in the background would also be like, oh, that was a silly joke.
Ooh, a message on my landline. I don't like that.
I like the ugly Sonic cameo. I also like the Post Malone version of the Chip and Dale theme song at the end. It is charming, it's fun, it's cool to look at, and the jokes are good enough. Does it feel like a Lonely Island movie? I don't know, not really. But they were involved, so I'm talking about it. The last one I'm going to talk about is a movie called Self-Reliance. Now, this movie was written, directed, and starring Jake Johnson, but Andy is kind of integral to the plotline, and then the Lonely Island were producers of the movie as well. The premise is that Jake's character was like recruited to play this dark web game where he's being hunted by people to kill him, and if he can survive for 30 days, then he gets $1 million. Jake Johnson's the one that wrote the movie, but it does feel like maybe he was inspired a little bit by Lonely Island style humor. I'm sure he was a fan of them. I'm sure he is a fan of them. Who isn't a fan of the Lonely Island? When I initially read the description of what this movie was before I watched it, I was kind of expecting it to be like that short film with Chance the Rapper. I don't want to spoil that either, but it's kind of a thing where like a hitman's coming to get you, and what does your life look like in the time between the hitman starts chasing you and you actually are gonna die? Interesting way to look at life and how you're living it. Are you living it to the fullest? Does the impending clock of death change the way that you go about things? And it was kind of similar to that, I guess, in some ways, but in other ways it was totally different. It's a funny movie, it's insanely frustrating at points, and frankly, it's riveting. I was on the edge of my seat more than once. This was me watching Self-Reliance. It's a little bit ambiguous, kind of. It leaves you thinking. It left me thinking for a few days after I saw it. Man, what really happened at the end? What was going on that whole time? I guess I don't fully know. Wayne Brady showed up at one point. What's going on? I don't know what's going on, but I liked it. I had a good time with it. I had fun. And now very quickly, I would like to share with you 2 reviews of the movie that pissed me off beyond belief. This first one says that they don't like the movie because a lot of it doesn't make sense. And specifically, they point at this. They say Anna Kendrick's character will laugh when Jake Johnson's character says he almost got murdered. And the reason that doesn't make sense is because she actually knows what's going on. Like, oh, she knows that he's being hunted and gonna be murdered because she's also in on the game. That's part of the plot. But then this freaking idiot also admits that he didn't finish watching the movie. He says he didn't watch the last 40 minutes or so of the movie. Guess what? Dumbass! If you had watched the last 40 minutes of the movie, you would know that Anna Kendrick's character did not actually know what was going on. She wasn't involved in it. She was pretending. You moron! Oh, this movie sucks because there was a plot point that didn't wrap up, and I didn't finish watching the movie to see that plot point wrap up, but it sucked because I didn't finish watching the movie. Shut up, dude! And this other one, oh my god, this one's so much worse. Oh, this review ends by saying, you gave it a shot, Jake, but writing and directing movies clearly isn't for you. Oh, I wanna genuinely, and I will censor it, don't worry, Mom. F this guy. And fuck people with this attitude. I'm so mad right now. Condescending, you gave it a real college try, but this clearly isn't for you. This is the first movie that Jake Johnson has written and directed. You didn't like it? Oh, clearly this isn't for you, Jake. Shut up. What kind of attitude is that? You miserable subhuman slug. I certainly hope that you've perfectly executed on every single thing you've ever done on your first attempt, and everybody has loved everything you've ever done on your first attempt. I hope that's true, Jeff White. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I don't know, man, I'm all hyped up. I don't know what that was. I'm so sorry about that, guys. I just hate people with that attitude. I hate that attitude. Let people try things. Not everything is for you, Jeff White. If you didn't like it, that doesn't mean that it is bad and that person should never try something again. Stop being that way. Be a better person, Jeff White. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Let's wrap this up. So that's all the movies that The Lonely Island was involved with. I think what I've found watching all of them is that the writing is the most important factor for if it feels like a Lonely Island thing. That seems kind of obvious. The next most important thing is actually the directing of the movie. I think the movie The Watch, even though it's not a Lonely Island movie, feels like a Lonely Island movie. Also, MacGruber, which is only directed by Jorma Taccone, feels like a Lonely Island movie. And then I think the third most important thing is the acting. Producing really doesn't matter at all. Like if they produce the movie, that's fine, but it does not mean that it's gonna feel like a movie that they made. So here are my recommendations based on that. If you want that classic, irreverent, Lonely Island feel, Hot Rod and Popstar. Clean recommendations, easy to like. If you're into their stuff, you will like these movies. If you're looking for something chaotic that does not follow any rules of conventional movie making, then you might like the Michael Bolton Valentines special, and you might love the Bash Brothers Experience. And then if you want just a little taste of the island, just a little sprinkling of it, but you aren't ready to fully commit to their style, I would point you to The Watch or Palm Springs. 2 different kinds of movies, but I think you would like those as well. Brigsby Bear and Self-Reliance, they get honorable mentions just because they're good movies and because I want to stick it to Jeff White. Thank you so much for watching. Also, check out the Lonely Island podcast if you like the Lonely Island and you didn't know that exists. It's pretty dang good. Also, check out my podcast as well while you're at it, if you're into that sort of thing. The latest episode is one of my favorites that we've put out so far, and it finally answers one of of the looming questions that people ask me every time my patrons scroll by. If you like my videos and you're doing a channel binge right now, consider subscribing. I'm pretty close to 1 million. It'd be cool to hit 1 million subscribers. Also, the song that I made for Jaden is now on streaming services, and the music videos on my second channel. Lots of stuff. I haven't been here in a while. I gotta update you on all the things that have happened in the last month. An extra massive thank you to my patrons. Those that are listed here are on the top tier on there. You guys, I give you all 5 stars. Keep going. Just keep doing it. You can do it. All right, that's all I got for you. I will see you guys again in a few years when this video randomly gets recommended to you, and I'll see you again next time in my next videos. Okay, bye. Hey guys, me again, checking in for the last time, I swear. While I was editing this, I stumbled upon 2 things. The Lonely Island as a trio made a cameo in Grown Ups 2, and then they also made a cameo in the movie Neighbors. They only acted in it, they didn't write, direct, or produce it. So anybody that was like, oh, wow, man, you forgot about these 2. Gotcha. Don't ever doubt me again. Don't you dare doubt me like that. Okay, bye guys.